Okay. Oh, they've just conceded. Don't really know what's going on with that. That was a bit of a weird game.
Uther versus Thrall!
For Doomhammer, I will fight with honor.
Alright, so I'm gonna keep one of the 1/1s. I'm not gonna keep both because I do want to make sure that I'm trying to search for the weapon as well. Got the weapon using the instrument tech, so it's more than likely going to be drone deconstructor into weapon tech. Into buff. Okay, so they got two 1/1s on the board. The poisonous one, I don't really need that, so I'm just gonna go for this. Trade into this 1/1 because if they have the 3/4, I don't really want to be dealing with that because it couldn't buff up their things to 2/2s. Buff up their other one to 2/2, so we'll be able to take it out. They're probably just gonna go the 1/1 into there. That's fine. Okay, so this turn I'm always playing drawing the instrument, drawing the weapon. Just deciding whether to play this down or not. This is always going phase. No, it's not worthwhile because they're going to trade into this. I don't really want to give them a beneficial trade because I'm going to be using the Painter's Virtue next turn anyway. So they're going to trade into this. I use the Painter's Virtue, so I'll be able to take out that, and then Turbulus probably keep for the next turn. They're going face. So I'm just going to use my weapon swing to go onto here. And then I'm just going to keep the 4/4 alive, I think, because I want to be able to keep the minions just in case. I don't really mind taking the extra damage because I do have the heal in my hand. And I also have this rush minion too, so I'll be able to clear their board no matter what they end up sending out. It's fine. Okay. So this 5/6 does make it a little bit more of a challenge.
Let me think.
Because I can't just go the rush minion, because if I do, I can send its buff into there, but I would only be able to take out one minion doing that anyway. I wouldn't be able to get the lifesteal either. It still probably is going to end up being the play though.
For justice.
Feel that healing beam!
You're gonna love the way you look.
Because they're going to be forced into trading like that, because they won't want me to trade a 4/4 into there, so it means that they're forced into a side that they need to do. Because next turn, if I need to, I can just use the Sandcastle and the Sparkbot. Okay, so... I think the sandcastle always has to come down. This always has to come down too. Because I don't want to trade into 2 damage just for the sake of dealing 2 damage, so I'm going to go sandcastle into here.
For justice.
Deal the face damage. And then I'm going to buff my... I'm going to keep the poisonous minion.
That's not a valid target.
Right into here. Yep, I want to keep the poisonous minion alive just in case they have something big for me. And it also means that I can use this next turn if I need to be able to, and I'll be able to use a 5 mana buff too. Because there isn't too much they really can do, I don't think, that can deal with this sort of board. The 4/4 being poisonous does make it really tricky for them. Because they have to trade 2 things into it if they're going to go for that sort of strategy. They should have used this first. So I've still got my poisonous minion alive. They did take out the buff that's there, which is fine for me. I might just go into here, because they don't usually run they don't usually run anything that would be able to make it so it buffs well for it. And I think I'm just going to play down this taunt minion just because it's safer for me. So I'll play down my 1/1 and I'll play down the taunt minion because I don't think they're going to be able to trade efficiently into it anyway. And next turn if I need to, I can use this Spark Bot to put a Divine Shield into my Spark Bot.
Return to the ship at once.
It's fine. But I might actually have lethal. We'll just see how their turn goes. I'll probably do a lethal unless they can take out my 4/1 or one of my other minions.
Who needs healing? I have healing.
I see the souls of our fallen.
Fine. So I've got 11 damage on board, Leroy's 8, so it's pretty sure it's guaranteed lethal. $10, $12, they got 19, that's guaranteed. Okay, so got another round of Handbuff Paladin. Okay, so I'm playing against a Shaman. It's more than likely going to be a Swarm Shaman. That's pretty much what the play is lately. I'm going to keep the Festival security just so that I have a way to clear their board if I need to. Drone Deconstructor is great, so it's more than likely going to be Drone Deconstructor into Instrument Tech into Painter's Virtue. If I do need to have some sort of board, I'm just going to play that on the Drone Deconstruct and then buff it up with the 2/3. Okay, so I play down the Drone Deconstructor, pass over to them. I don't really need to give it a buff since they're just sitting with how they are. I got the Cactus Cutter, that's not too much of a concern for me, so I'm probably just going to take the draw. I don't really need to trade too much into it because I'm going to have the Painter's Virtue next turn anyway to be able to trade into that 2/2. Putting down Gorgon's Ormu is not too much of a worry for me because I'm going to be buffing up my Festival security. think that I'll be going for trade and then the Painter's Virtue into it. It's not really any different doing either way because both of them can be buffed up by the Turbulus. Using the bouncer. So doing that doesn't really help me because it wouldn't clear both, it'd only just clear one. I think I'm gonna use the tiger. I'm gonna use the plushie, so I'm gonna use the buff. Then I'm gonna send out my 5/4 and then trade into the 4/5. So it gets me back to full health and also means that I've established some sort of board against them. Then I can use this next turn so I can get a 5 damage AoE onto them. If they end up playing like Delicious Cheese or whatever. It's fine. Those are all pretty weak, to be honest. Okay. I think they're going to trade. Oh, they might not actually, because if they do trade, that means that the 5/4 still lives. Like, it's not really much of a thing. They trade that. Okay. Is there really any benefit me using this straight away? I don't think there is. Because it will get the 6/5 first, I'm pretty sure, so if I use that, it will take out that, but it will only take out one of these guys.
Let me think.
So I think the play's just trade here. Put down a minion. Put down the rush minion. Give it a buff. Then trade into it, so it means that I still get my board, and I've also got a 5/8 that I can use in future turns. I don't really want to be getting them trading into it. I don't really want to be using this just to only take out 2 minions. Next turn, this should be able to clear the whole board. Okay, so they're freezing my 5/5, which means that I don't get the health, don't get the heal, but this still does clear most of their minions. And hopefully it hits the pop-up books first. Trading. Fine. They're giving it a buff, so that means they may end up trading into here. It's fine. So I've got the tiger plushie. It's not very useful in this situation. So I'll play down my deconstruct to see what I get. It's another divine shield. Play might be just getting the minion out. Just be clicking the button. Not really any point doing that, so I'm gonna play down this, and then I'm gonna get this to take out some of their guys. They got 18 damage on board at the moment. So they'd need the gift plus the AoE. They're just gonna freeze my board, I believe. Okay, I've got Ziliax, but that's not very useful in this situation. I'm gonna have to use the Taran. This doesn't really help me either.
The toy store belongs to the Titans.
So they've got 2 of the Rush Murlocs in their hand. Given the hex, 2, 4. Like it's exact lethal. Could I have done anything different? Yeah, could have played that. I had quite a lot of my... I needed them freezing all my minions quite a lot, ended up being a bit of a problem for me. And the backstage bounce is obviously a very strong against buffing decks too. They're really strong.
Careful, the cold is catching.
Okay, playing against a mage. Don't want to keep the gold panel. Yeah, let's keep it. Okay, I got the instrument tech, I've got the gold panel, so I'll just see what I end up drawing into for the next 2 turns. Okay, they got the Firefly. I think this turn's just gold panel. Next turn I do the instrument tech. Okay, it looks like they're playing Elemental Mage. Lay down the weapon and just pass over to them. I'm gonna play the weapon next turn. I do have quite a lot of cards as well, which is really good for me. Elemental Mage doesn't really have too much, like, since I can use this as a rush, I can deal with them quite well. Oh, okay. They froze my face. So they're obviously going to trade in my 1-1 here. I think they may trade into the 1-2 so they get to deal the 2 damage over here. So I think this turn may just be playing cards cost less than 2. It's obviously that. Don't really need the lifesteal rush at the moment. Does it really help? Or is it better just to draw cards? Probably just better drawing cards. Since I'm on 30 health, I don't really want to use it just because I might need to be using it in future turns. Okay. Because I can use it, I could use it now if I wanted to be able to clear the 7-4. Which is probably going to end up being my play, or the Tiger Plushie. Tiger Plushie might actually... Oh, I can't do that. I don't really want to take the 7 damage to the face. Is there any way around taking that 7 damage to the face?
Let me think.
No. I think I'm just gonna have to play the plushie and take out the 2-1 as well. Next turn I can go for the rush minion with my hero, with my audio medic. Okay. So next turn they're dealing 18.
I wonder.
So I can't just chill this turn.
For justice.
They more than likely have lethal. Oh, that's coin in their hand actually. So I'm back up to 23. It does weaken me a lot. Like, I'm not really sitting in a position that's very good because this is going to be too big for me because they can just go trade or the hero power that's there.
For justice.
They didn't play down an elemental last turn. So 2 taunts, does that save me?
Let me think. For justice.
I think that does save me. So I go up to 4. Lay down a drone deconstructor, see what I end up getting. The poisonous, that's not too useful. Just buff him up. Turn this into a 1-1. Problem is I don't really have any more lifesteal. Okay. Leroy's dealing 8. Whereas this scale's not too important at the moment. See what this ends up getting. It's another poisonous, not very useful in this situation. So trade that into there. Trade that. And this guarantees me for next turn, just depending on what they end up doing. Play this onto here, like they need a spell to be able to take this out. If they don't, I just win next turn. There's not really any other thing that I could do here.
You're more fun than I expected.
Okay. So that was a pretty tricky sort of match. Like, you know, you're sitting on such a low health total. You need to make sure that you're doing what you can. You know, just thinking about what amount of health is lethal for them. Just trying to, in that situation, I need to out-resource them. Like, preferably I would have been able to get a bigger Tiger plushie to be able to deal with some of their board, but they kept getting enough health up to be able to deal with whatever I needed, and I was on such a low health total that it would have been a bit of a concern for me. I'm just going to keep the Grime Street Outfitter. Instrument Tech's quite good as well here. I'll just see what they end up playing, because it may end up being this turn 1, but it more than likely will just be holding so I can weapon turn 3. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so they're forging. What could they forge? This is a Handbuff Paladin as well they're playing. More than likely, anyway. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to coin into my weapon, obviously. Trade into this 2-4 just in case they end up getting some sort of magnetic. I think it's probably going to be Grime Street Outfitter next turn. They do have 3/3 buffs into their minions as well.
For justice.
So, Grime Street Outfitter and then Gold Panel. Draw some cards, see what I end up getting. I've got this if I need to. See what they end up doing. So they could have the plushie here to be able to clear this board. They've got a 6-6.
The light dims.
Another 6-6.
Fight.
Toys are much more fun to raise.
Okay, so they turn that into a rush minion. So I've got two different plays here I could do. I could buff up this, and it would be able to kill 2 minions. This can then trade into that, and I still have a minion left on the board. Or I could go for the Terram. Probably not worthwhile at the moment.
For justice.
So I think that always goes there. So this is a 6-9, so this buff doesn't really do anything different. I do need to clear most of this board though. So if I play down this, it ends up just staying alive on the board anyway.
Where's your cash?
Okay. That is a little bit difficult to deal with because they're going to end up being able to establish a lot of pressure. I can deal 16 though. Turn into a 1-1.
The toy store belongs to the Titans. You have a fraction of my power.
It probably would have been a better play to trade into that just because them having some sort of board is a little bit of an issue for me, but if I did, it meant that I would be in a little bit of trouble, like in terms of the damage output. I want to be trying to pose some sort of lethal damage relatively soon.
Belongs to the Titans. You have a
I don't really think I've got any sort of way around this though. I'll just see what I end up drawing into. Peacekeeper's quite good, so it means that if I do survive next turn, I'll be able to survive for a long time. I might have to just trade relatively unfavorably into that.
Feel that healing beat.
Or do I just keep it alive? Because I could just trade that and then trade that. But if I trade this and this, it means they don't have much of a board. They just have the 9-12.
Quickly.
I think I do need to take that out. Next turn I can play my Titan if I need to. Because they may end up going wide. Okay, they're playing down their plushie, so they can trade into my 8-3. I still only have the 9-9, which is a little bit challenging for me. They'll probably end up playing down another one of their minions. Okay. trying their second weapon. So I've only got 15 damage like that. I think it's always the Peacekeeper. And I'm gonna have to take out this 2-2 just in case. Because I don't want them to buff it up. If they buff it up, they're gonna get all that lifesteal back. And then next turn I'm gonna have to go for... What can I go for? I could go for Leroy. Doesn't deal enough. Go for Ziliax. Or I can go for the 2 Tiger Plushies plus the buff. I think it probably will end up being the Tiger Plushies. I could go for this and then the Tiger Plushie. Fine. Okay. They're gonna trade completely into that. Still got 16 health. It's gonna have to be the Tiger Plushie play. Now, is it better to use the Forge into the Tiger Plushie? Or is it better to send out both Tiger Plushies? So I can clear the board using the Tiger Plushie play like that. I think this is probably the best way to go about it, and then I just deal the rest of the damage phase. Because they are sitting on a lot stronger of a setup than I am since I've got the second Painter's Virtue. Because I've only got 1 minion left that's, or 2 minions, but basically 1 minion left that's buffed. They might end up having lethal here because they do have a lot of minions that are being buffed at the moment. Go for the freeze. Fine. They do have a lot of tempo on the board.
Feel that healing beat.
I probably need my Bob the Bartender here, but even that I don't know will save me.
Toys are much more fun to bring.
Yeah, there's nothing here that I can do to save me here because I don't have a taunt to be able to deal with any of this stuff. Having the second Painter's Virtue does mean that they're going to win like that. And yeah, I need my own buff to be able to freeze their board to be able to make sure that I had some sort of chance, but they probably did have Leroy in their hand anyway.
Uther versus the Lich King.
You could not stop me then. You will
Okay.
not
So playing against a Death
stop me
Knight.
now.
Drone Deconstruct is basically always a keep. This is a relatively weak hand. Painter's Virtue makes it a lot better.
Toys are much more fun to bring.
So Deconstruct is useful because you can send the get the magnetic buff.
One dose solves any problem.
I think it's just doing hero power going face. They're going for the trade. I might just trade into that to make it a little bit better for me. And I think I've got to play down the 1-1 here. Playing down the Helga, that's fine. Not really too concerned about that. Next turn I can Painter's Virtue. Does it matter which side I use? Not really. Got a gold panel. Take out the 1-1, take out the 2-1. Okay. I've got a lot of tempo on the board at the moment. I think it's always this.
For justice.
Get the buffs. Next turn I'm probably going to freeze the board with Bob. It may end up just being playing Ziliax and chill. Because I know that Death Knight doesn't really have too big a ways to be able to deal with big minions this early. Playing a Plague version. Got a lot of Plagues in my deck now. So 2 Frost means that I can't use it. A little bit challenging. I have to just go face here. See what I draw? Lay that down. I think I'm just gonna have to play my board. They probably do have lethal. Because drawing into that Plague makes it a lot weaker. I got 7 here.
The citadel stands strong.
Okay, trading. So I think that if I think I've got to play down the weapon. I don't think I can just go for a turn and chill. It does slow down my lethal turn, but if I play this, it means that I can get my taunt minion down sooner. So I'm gonna play this down and see what I end up getting. Lifesteal's really good. Trade into there, so it forces them to have to swing into my 2-2. Means that my 7/7's quite likely to survive as well. Getting the Horseman does help them quite a lot to be able to deal with that, but that should be fine. I'm back up to 19 health as well, which is good. Just play down this just to be a little bit safer, but I think that I should have lethal from here. Blood Plague's fine. They shouldn't have any way to deal with this because, unless they have the Bob the Bartender, I think that's the only way that they can survive this, because it's still too early to be able to use Ceaseless Expanse. Got way too much damage, I think, posed on board for them. think they're just hoping that their plagues do well, but they've only got... They've got 9 plagues in their decks, in my deck, so it is, I guess it is a possibility that I can die from plagues, but I don't think that it's that likely to be able to draw that many in a row.
Time is short. I must report. The runes beside your
They go for the heal here. Oh, they're going for the taunts.
unholy symbol of death.
Okay. Does it really matter to me? Not really. Sandcastle.
I am broken.
Okay, next game. I think they needed in that turn to be to use it to take the health from one of my Ziliaxes, because I still had, there's still 4 minions on board that would be able to deal with though, or plus my hero power. There still was enough damage on board just sitting there to be able to deal with those reborns. Getting back to 13 health actually I don't think really mattered either. Yeah, there wasn't really anything they could do in that situation.
I will fight with
Okay, these are all good to keep. I'll just full keep this. More than likely they're playing Pain Priest. It's a good draw, Drone Deconstructor. Taunt's quite good in this situation. I think I'm probably going to be playing down Gold Panda next turn, but we'll just wait and see what they end up doing. It might end up being just a Forge of the Muscletron. Playing Zamari.
starting the operation.
Okay. We go for the buff to take out this 2-2. I think that's probably going to be the best way to go about it. But that could be a next turn play. Then again, they could get quite buffed by not trading into that. If I trade into that, that means the 3-2 does need to trade into me as well. I think that's probably going to be the play. I don't really need to... Like, I've got enough in this hand to be able to deal with what I need to. Okay. So they've got the gold panel. See what I end up drawing into. I think I've got to take that out. I'll just use it because establishing tempo in this situation is quite good for me, because then I can get the weapon to be able to swing and take out whatever they send out. Yeah. And then the future turns I'll be able to do the buff and things like that. Or the sandcastle, which is quite good too. Trade. So if they use that, that means it gets them a board of 2-2s, which is relatively decent I guess, but we'll have a 4-6. And then the future turn I can use the sandcastle. Laying down the wall, that's fine, that's fine.
Any problem?
Yeah. I think it's always just played it, forge this and then play it. Gets me a big enough board to be able to deal with them. I can use the sandcastle in the future turn as well. So I'm going to play down this first, because I want to see what I get as the buff. I can buff up the 4-6 if I need to. So I'll play this down first, I'll see what I end up getting. It's reborn, so it's not that useful, but it's better on this than this. So I'm going to use the rush here. Take out the 2-3. I'm going to give the 7 damage to my 4-6. And I'm going to hit into the 1-2. And then I'm going to take out the Miracle Salesman and then go phase. Next turn I have lethal if they don't have a way to deal with this.
Molded in my
I wonder.
I think I'm one off.
Accidents, they happen, you know?
Yeah, I'm one mana off.
Feel that healing beat.
You're
Buff to you.
Step to this.
So unless they have Oracle plus a few dragons, I have lethal using it this way. Plus I did have that in the backup as well, so unless they had also had a way to deal with the damage, I'd be completely fine. Okay. What are we dealing with next? Hunter.
Versus Tavish. I'll meet my own fortune.
Okay, so let's just keep Grime Street.
With honor.
Is Audio-Medic worthwhile? It might be worthwhile using the Audio-Medic because these hunters sometimes are quite aggressive. With how this hand is, more likely... I'm just going to see what they end up playing actually. I think in the 1-1. So they shouldn't have a way to deal with my gold panel, so I might need to just use it to draw a card. Instrument tech's quite good. I'm just gonna go for the buff actually. Means I get more value from these guys. Next turn's gonna be gold pounded. The turn after that's instrument tech.
I raise, you fold.
Always trade into that. I could always use this to trade to make sure I've got the board, but I do want to draw the extra card. Trade into there so I can't do a decent trade into my 2-3. Gets me an extra card as well. Next turn's always instrument tech, so I have access to the weapon the following turn.
lush wilds and clear skies. This could be our home.
They might go for the coin tracking to be able to discover another card. It means that they're down to 3 for their alien encounters. But I should be able to get big enough using these guys. This ends up being quite strong as well against Discover Hunter. I think it's always trade into this. Lay down my instrument tech trade. So they're basically forced into trading to this unless they want to let me keep drawing cards, which is really bad for them, especially since I've just gotten the weapon in my hand.
These could belong to a
Laying down the scout, if they get alien encounters, that's quite bad for me. Probably the only card that I'm really worried about in that situation. Fine. Looks like they don't have the alien encounters. Okay, so it's always the weapon. and then I'll trade here. I'm not, since I've got this, I'm not too worried about them buffing up this guy. Let's take out the 3-2, just in case. Because they're the more aggressive deck in this situation. They may have a bunch of bananas to be able to get really big, but I can use my plushie if I need to be able to deal with it. 7-6. Relatively safe here because I can just go for the trade and then get a 5. Oh, okay. That alien encounters. No, meant to shape on. So I can use this to trade into them. Because this becomes a 5. This becomes a 5-4. Then I can use its little minion to be able to trade as well. Or I could keep it so it's a 2-2. Don't think it really matters too much which way I go about it. Is it better to have a 4-3 and a 2-2 or a 5? It's probably better since they got the 5 mana here, so I'm going to trade here first. Play down my Tiger Plushie, because I want them to have to do a unfavorable trade. Which they'll have to, like, they could do this trade, but that doesn't really mean anything to me, because I got other minions to be able to deal with them.
No one's going to believe this.
Fine. Because this will always be able to trade into there. Playing on the snakes. That's our other mantle, Shaper. They trading. Interesting. Okay. 3-3. So if I go, I can buff my 1-1. Or is it better to the auto? It might be better to the audio-medic player. It can trade everything out. I can get a new weapon online too if I grab that.
I wonder.
It might be better just to buff and then go for the trade. It deals with their board and it keeps me alive as well. I could use the audio medic. Because I can still kill that as well.
For justice.
It's always going phase. Yeah, let's grab the weapon to play down the gold panel. And play down the audio medic trade here. And I'll just send this phase. If I need to, next turn I can use Outfit Tailor onto it.
Keep on panning.
These could belong to a brand new species.
So they're probably hoping for an alien encounters here. I'm not too worried about that because that will probably lull them into a false sense of security.
The tracks lead this way. Here we find things.
Who could put
It's
a
fine.
price on such powerful artifacts? I could.
Okay, what did they get?
Here we find things.
Take control of an enemy minion. Okay. They're going for favorable trades. I don't want to give them the Titan. Because if I give them the Titan, they could get something that's relatively important. So I'm just going to play down Painter's Virtue.
For justice.
Trade into here. 6. We'll just take control of this, send it into there. Trade into there. And I'm just gonna make it so their cards cost some more. If that previous thing I should have traded into that and then kept this, I could have kept the 6-1 alive. Probably was better doing it that way. I don't want to make my guys too big, so then they can't, so then it's not until I get rid of those other minions. Because I don't want them to be able to deal lethal using just taking control of my dudes. Okay, so they're going full board with their dudes. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Forge. And I think I just play down Bob here. It freezes the whole board.
I can't do that.
I'm gonna just pass. Gives me an extra turn to decide on what I'm gonna do. I do need some rush minions to be able to deal with this. Because I don't want to use I still don't want to use the Peacekeeper until I've got some more things cleared. It's Titanforge traps. So they wouldn't use Freezing Trap here, that'd be silly, because then I'd just be able to use the freeze again on them. I think they've used most of their one-cost minions as well, so using this doesn't really mean much. Audio Medic's quite good, because I can buff it up. Just go for the trade and see what ends up happening. So it's not bait and switch or freezing trap. I'll use the Muscleatron, I'll give it the Forge. Lay down the 4-6. So I can clear using this Audio Medic as well. We'll use a weapon swing too. It gives me back the health, but it also means that I can clear whatever I need to.
Job's done.
Okay, so it's either Ice Trap or Explosive Trap. I'd say it's more than likely Explosive Trap. Right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bait out the take control of an enemy minion that they have. I don't know why you take the Bob when you can take the heal, unless they're planning on going face. Okay. Damn, they got lethal like that. Okay.
Victory is yours.
Not really anything I could do to change around that, because I didn't want the Peacekeeper to be able to give them the buffs.
Uther versus Scarlet.
Let the blight begin.
I will fight with honor.
Okay, so playing against Death Knight. Okay, so going into this play, it usually would be better using the instrument tech first, because it's a painter's virtue. Sorry, second. But because I've already got one in my hand now, I'm going to need to use it this turn. Because I don't want to lose out on the possibility of having it. Getting the draw for it. I think it's basically always just playing Muscle-Atron without the Forge, because it's going to be quite an aggressive match because they're playing Plague Death Knight. They're going for the trade, that's fine for me. Razor Scale should be quite good in this situation as well, so I'm probably going to just hold it for 2 turns, and then I can use it in the future to be able to slow them down. Like, I could have used it that turn, possibly as well. It does mean they wouldn't have been able to access the Hellier.
You have earned an eternity of torment.
Probably would have been a better play, but that's alright. I think it's always going Painter's Virtue into the Hellier. Now do I trade here? Or throw face? It's probably just always trading. Next turn's using the Razor Scale. Along with the Outfitter. Or I could use the Drone Key Constructor first. I don't think that's the play. Give my guys some buffs. It should make me probably too strong to be with them as well, because since they can only do 2 cost things, I'm not really going to be doing too much more trading, I'm just going to be going face. Outfit is quite good. So I'll trade into the 2-2. I'll buff up my guys, and then I'm going to play down the Painter's Virtue. This plays around them having a mind control tech, and it also establishes lethal for next turn if they don't deal with my minions. Because it's quite possible they did get a mind control tech through their ETC.
Death cannot be bound. Death cannot be bound.
Looks like they're going for a trade. They may be going for a full trade here. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to play down the Deconstruct to see what I end up getting. The Divine Shield, which is really good.
For justice.
I'll just play it down like this because I can use these buffs next turn if I need to be able to deal lethal. They probably don't. I don't think they'll have a way to be able to deal with this as well. Like, it possibly could have been better playing it onto the 5-6, but I didn't really want to just because they, like, I feel like they probably would just be using the shuffle stuff in their hand. And it forces them into trading very unoptimally. It's fine. Go face, give 2 buffs. Lethal. Okay. So we'll see what ends up happening for this next game. It's going pretty well in terms of just aggroing them down. So like, Handbuff Paladin is relatively straightforward in terms of what you need to do. It's basically just make sure a minion sticks and then buff it up to be able to take them out. Leroy obviously is quite useful for it, but in general it's usually better just to be able to take them out using your minions that are already on the board and using ones that are buffed. Okay, so what do I end up drawing? Let's have a look. So I'm playing against another Death Knight. There's been a lot of Plague Death Knights lately, so it's probably more than likely going to be Plague. I've got Painter's Virtue, I've got Instrument Tech. I think it's always just keep these two. Because Instrument Tech allows me to draw a card, which is essentially drawing the weapon that's there, and obviously having Painter's Virtue is really useful as well. I could have probably traded away the Painter's Virtue since I already had the Instrument Tech, but I think it allows me to choose my plays a bit better if I need to. Okay, I think I'm just going to go for the draw the weapon. I can play this next turn. They'll probably more than likely have mining casualties. Yeah. This turn's always the outfitter. Trade into the 1/1.
The citadel stands strong.
They're more than likely going to go for a... Oh, they're not going for a full trade. That's fine. So I'll use... So I drew this with the weapon, so I'm going to... Obviously I'm just going to play it down because it's no... Like, it doesn't give me any benefit just holding it. And I'm going to go face with my 2/2. Because this one holding it means it's an unknown card for them. The other one was known by them. They could here go for the freeze weapon. Doesn't look like they got it since they didn't instant pick it. They're just trading. It gets them some more corpses, so it means that they can't go online yet with that the buff guy anyway. So I'm gonna go face here. I'll forge my Muscleatron, and then I'll just buff up the rest of my hand. Next time I can play Sandcastle.
You could use a scrim.
It's fine.
You could use a scrim.
I think it's just trade here. Lay down my Painter's Virtue. I'll play down the Audio Medic. It forces them into having to do something. They could here have the Airlock Breach. If they do, I don't really care too much. I got Festival Security. Problem is I don't have a way to activate it at the moment. Like, that would have possibly been a better play to make sure the Audio Medic was still in my hand. But if I just hero powered, I would have lost a lot of tempo onto this board. They don't really have a great way to be able to deal with it. Like, they can trade everything, but I don't think they're going to do that. This clears the whole board. I'll make this a little bit... I think I'd probably make this a little bit bigger.
I wonder.
Because I do take an extra 2 damage here on that, but I can always go face with this.
Step to this.
Just take out the 1/1, it doesn't really mean anything different. I feel like they probably would have traded that anyway. That might just be another airlock breach they might be using with that. Could be a fistful of corpses, because I'd be able to take out the whole board that's here.
Nothing gets past my hounds.
Not lethal. Surely.
For justice.
8. 19. Yeah, that's plenty. Alright, what's our next game? Hunter.
Let the hunt begin.
More than likely the aggressive version. Don't think I keep the gold panner here. I could. Don't think it's worth it. I need to get a 1-1 onto the board quite early, and I also want to get my weapon quickly. I think I just play down the drone deconstructor here, see what I end up getting. It's taunt. I don't think that's that useful. I can go for the trade here. I think that's probably going to be the play. With the taunt, it possibly was better just going face, because they would have always had to deal with that. I don't think there's anything in their deck that they would use to really trade into that efficiently anyway. 3-1. I think it's always just the buff, along with the taunt. Yeah, just go face. Trusty fishing rod. Does that matter for me? Not really. Catch of the day means they can trade efficiently though. I've got Tiger Plushie, so I can trade into this if I need to. I think I'm just going to go for the buff though. It looks like they're playing an aggressive version. So I might just get the extra card and then trade into one of their 3-1s. This allows me to draw an extra card. I can use the Tiger Plushie next turn to be able to deal with their board if they send out something big anyway. I think I'm just gonna let them go for it this turn, because I can get some big buffs onto my minions. It's always better going this than that. And next time I can play down the plushie and I can deal with the rest of the board if I need to.
Come in here.
They're going quite wide. Most of those are taunts. Okay. It's always plushie here. Alright, so... I want that Zilliax to go, but I also want the full one to go as well.
Does this hurt?
it's more important to go to that 4-1. Actually, not really. Ziliax can deal extra damage to me. And also, all my minions can deal with the 4-1, but only that one can deal with the Ziliax. Fine. Don't know why they didn't use that jungle gym first. Okay, so I can either go Ziliax, or I can go Magartha. I think it's probably better to go Magartha, so I'm gonna go Instrument Tech first to allow me to get the weapon. Then I'm gonna go Magartha, it gets me some stuff. Off the Bartender next turn means I can freeze the board and I can just deal lethal the following turn.
None can stand against it.
Grabbing the Titans, that's gonna be using it to go face.
Our adversaries will know our rage.
How much damage are they dealing at the moment? They're posing a lot of damage on board. Actually, that's lethal. Oh. Don't think I could have done anything different. I could have grabbed the weapon and used the weapon swing. That's the only thing I could have done different. It would have meant that I were 2 off, but I wasn't really thinking about the Titan.
Uther versus Valera.
Watch your back.
I will fight with honor.
I was more so hoping that I'd get the Righteous Protector or something like that to be able to to protect my face. Okay, so go to the Festival Security. Go to the Righteous Protector. I think I'll just keep these two. I'll just keep the Grime Street. Just keep the 2-drop. Okay, so Outfitter, Instrument Tech, Flushy, and Razor Scale. So Razor Scale can be quite useful because it reduces down the cost of their giants. It's more than likely Cycle Rogue. Let's pass the turn over to them. Next turn's Instrument Tech.
To perfection.
I could just go this on turn 3. Because it means they can't do the prep. They can't do really very much with that Oracle either. But if I give it some more buffs, it means it's a lot stronger, so I might wait till the turn so I can give it some more buffs. I think they're just deciding whether to trade or not. It's fine. It's always coin into weapon for me. Okay, they're using a gear shift, that's fine. Okay, so how many have they got of their things? I don't think they've gotten many draw cards, I think they're up to 8. So I'm just going to play down my weapon and head into the 2-1. It means that they don't have a chance of getting any more of their asteroids. Next turn's playing down Razor Scale more than likely. It's a 10 now. So they're up to 9 and they drew one more and then it's 10. Okay, another asteroid, so up to 12.
Muzzle their magic.
That's fine.
Muzzle their magic.
Okay.
For
Straight into a
justice.
3-2. I don't really want it to die, that's the thing. So I might actually just go for the outfitter and then the medic. Gives me my health back, but then the following turn I can just play down the Razor Scale, which will stop them from their Giant's turn.
I get it.
They're conceding anyway. Looks, they probably didn't have their Oracle, which is the reason why they just conceded.
Uther versus Illitin.
Okay, so it's aggro.
I will fight with honor.
I think I just keep everything besides from the Ziliax. This is useful for defending myself if I need to. It's always 1-2 coin weapon 3.
The light dills, but we
Because I can grab the lifesteal using the audio medic as well. And headhunt. Yep, headhunt, that gets our minion in their hand, they deal 2 damage. Not too much of an issue for me. I always go instrument tech here. Okay. Stealing face, it's fine. I'll take out the Battle Fiend, I don't really want that alive anymore. Bring down the Ziliax. Do I have a way to deal with it? Yes. It's not preferred, but I do have a way to deal with it. There's a deal into that. And I can play my 2 rush minions to deal with it.
Feel that healing beat. Feel that healing beat. Step to this. Step to this.
Witness true arcane magic. How enigmatic.
For justice.
Always play down the plushie here. I'm gonna keep this one in my hand just in case so I can give it some more buffs with my lifesteal. I don't really wanna, I wanna be able to defend myself if I need to. Surely they trade. Yep. I think it's always just these 2 the next turn.
For justice.
muzzle their magic.
I don't think they have a way to deal with 22 damage, to be honest.
Is this really better than
So, yeah, I just have lethal.
Well played. For justice.
Okay. Alright, next turn. So I'm going pretty well with Handbuff Paladin at the moment, so it's been a pretty good meta for me. Currently 10 and 4. been in a pretty good pocket. And I've also been drawing the weapon quite well as well. I've been getting it most games, I think. And the weapon pretty much is the way that you win with this deck.
Uther versus Garrosh.
Victory or death!
Okay.
I will fight.
So I go draw and deconstruct an instrument tech. It might actually be gold panel. We'll see what I end up drawing. Okay, it's actually going to be Grime Street Outfitter, so we'll just see what I end up drawing, but if it'll be correct if they don't end up, if I don't draw a weapon, I go the Grime Street Outfitter and then I do the weapon tech on turn 3. Means I get an extra 1/1 onto my field, using the instrument tech like that. But if I draw the weapon, I always play the weapon 1 first. Okay, yep, so I do Outfitter now, I get an extra buff onto it, and then I go into there. It also makes them think that I don't have the extra, I'm not going to get the weapon next turn. And then the following turn after that obviously is going to be playing down the weapon. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so instrument tech. Just deciding whether to use this or not. I might actually just go for the buff now. Gives extra damage to them, applies more pressure as well. It forces them into a play, and since I've got Leroy, I can use that to combo them down later at turns anyway. Because they don't have the, if they use the AoE next turn, it means I'm still dealing an extra 7 damage on board plus the Painter's Virtue. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so they get an extra 4 health, but I still have the 7 damage on board that's sitting here. I can use the plushie as well if I need to be able to take them out, but it more than likely will be playing the Magatha next turn. Yep. So I'll be able to deal the AoE, but I'm not really too worried about that. Play down this next turn. And it's basically always just going face.
Stop and smell the flowers.
Okay. So now, I'd want to be able to deal that 7 damage to their face. I don't really mind if they get this. If they do, they could get Ziliax out with it though. I don't have a silence, that's probably the only issue that I really need to think about. So I want to keep my sandcastle as well. So I think it's trade here. Play down the gold panel. Send out the 4-3. I'm just gonna go face. Just see what, if they end up getting the Ziliax, I get the Ziliax, but if they don't, I'm just gonna be able to win next turn, I believe. I've got the Bob as well, so I can force, if I do force out the Ziliax, I'm not too worried. It's fine. So if they have the Ziliax, I just use the Bob onto it.
Wait, I'm rich!
If they don't, I'm pretty sure I've just gotten off here. Got 17 out of hand with Leroy. Boss doesn't do anything.
Well played. For justice.
Okay.
Uther versus
Priest.
The light shall bring victory.
I will fight with honor.
Okay, always keep the weapon. I think everything else I get rid of. I could keep the razor scale as well. Could keep the plushy too if I wanted to. I will just keep the weapon because razor scale, although strong, probably if they are playing Pain Priest, I'm not too sure or not. I don't really want to be possibly dealing with that. Okay, always play Drone Deconstructor first. Got Rush, that's pretty good. Okay, so they're playing Zamari Priest. Instrument Tech always this turn, since I have a Painter's Virtue in my hand. I'm only doing that because I don't want to have no value coming from this.
I smell gold in them there waters. Keep on fanning.
Since they're playing Zamari Priest, is it good jamming that relatively soon? We'll see. Take out this with that, and then trade into these two under there. Yeah, Warrior in 2025. Yeah, it's in a pretty unfortunate state. Since Unkiliax got nerfed so many times, it's not being great for Warrior. ETC probably grabs Stefan, maybe? It's fine, I'll put it low.
For justice.
Okay. It's not really worthwhile doing the buff onto it. 6-5. Do I have a way to deal with that? Yeah, I can. Do I really want to? It's not very favorable doing it that way. I'll just trade in the face, because it forces them into into having a possibly unoptimal play. So I'm just gonna play down the Muscleatron. I'll buff up this, and I'll just go face, because it still forces them into having to do something. If I get my Flushy as well, it can clear that board. I don't even think I've got a single win for Sparkbot today. I played like 15 games, and I haven't got a single one yet. Okay. I think it's always just trade. Then I could use a weapon to trade more efficiently if I wanted to. No, not really. It's not really worthwhile. But then I can use the rush thing anyway.
For justice.
Let's take it like that. It doesn't look very good doing that, but I think I'm always using the audio medic. Just deciding whether to use the razor scale first. No, let's go for the buff and we'll get extra life steal back doing it this way. Take out the 2-3. Go face. Next turn I can play down Ziliax and just apply pressure if I want to, or I can play down the weapon and use the rush minion.
Bold
It's fine. I think I just played Auxiliax this turn. Forces them into having to do something. I just go face. I don't think they can deal with the two of them. Oh, they can with that. That's fine. Okay. So, they possibly don't have the Time Winder still in their hand. I always play down the Painter's Virtue, I think, here. Get into the 1-2. I don't want to hit the 1-1 just yet because they could get a 4. They could get the 4 plus minion from that first. It's fine. Okay, so they're up to 8 dragons now. Is that Time Winder? Yeah, that's lethal. I went a bit too aggressive. I wasn't even thinking about the Shadow Word Ruin. Yeah, maybe they can play warrior like that because yeah, I've gotten the rush one a couple of times. I've gotten Divine Shield like most of the times. I've gotten 1 reborn and 1 taunt, I think. It's been very interesting. I think I've also gotten a poisonous as well, but I really haven't been getting many of. I haven't got any win free. I know that for sure because win free is obviously just like auto win, especially if you get it early and you can get all the buffs onto it. I'm just gonna keep 1 drone deconstructor, I think. Oh no, it's probably worthwhile keeping 2 because I can get the buffs onto them anyway. 2 instrument techs, 2 drone deconstructors. Hopefully it's win free time. What's this? Okay. I can't really complain, like I've been getting the weapon quite consistently. Just playing this normally. Why are they just playing that normally? Is this like an aggressive mage? Okay, so next turn, unless there's something that really poses anything, I'm just going to be playing down the instrument tech to get me the extra, weaponed out so I can draw into something decent. Well, this might be Orb Rogue. Well, I can't do that play anymore. I think it's just always plushy, hit into it and then go face with the weapon. I don't know how they've had a lot of... Yeah, mulliganing is quite useful as well to be able to use that. If you mulligan for the specific cards you want, you can. And obviously with Weapon Rogue you can draw into a lot of the stuff you want to. Okay, so he's going for freeze. That's fine. I think I just go buff and then face.
For justice.
And then hope my drone deconstruct is quite good. Get me win free. I've got an elusive now. That's something different. Full damage Leroy incoming. Yeah, this Leroy is going to be big. This is 100% Orbit Rogue. Orb Rogue. I think. Just judging by this random mixture of cards. Flame Geyser. Yeah, I've got some decent buffs on these dudes, so I'm not really too worried about what they're doing, unless they have some sort of burst for me, but I just need to deal a bit of consistent damage to them. That's fine. can put elusive onto this guy. It's lifesteal. Oh, I have gotten a lifesteal as well.
For
Take out
justice.
you. And that's before this game too, I'm not just saying I've just gotten lifesteal now. We'll make him roll a 13-14, like, if they go for the Frost Giant, if they go for the Tsunami play, it means it just clears whatever they send out with it. Yeah, I'd say Winfrey probably isn't one that they want to be getting out too often. Okay, Stargazing, so that's probably Light Show. No. Wisdom of Nor. What is this deck? Neighbors, grass, always green. Of course it is. Whenever you watch these decks, you just assume that they're going to do a lot better than you, and they always do. Starship Elemental. I legit have not seen this deck before. Do I have lethal? So, 15. Plus 16. Yes.
For justice.
It would have been lethal a lot quicker if it was a Winfrey. But then again, the fact that I had the elusive definitely was very useful against whatever that was that I was playing against. Okay, Priest.
The light shall bring victory.
I will fight with honor.
Okay, always keep Drone Deconstructor. Do I want to keep Gold Panel? Possibly. But I don't have the instrument tech at the moment, so I'll get rid of it. Oh, there's the weapon. There's the win card. Okay, play down Drone Deconstructor. See what I get. Elusive again. Next turn's probably always Forging. Okay. Orbital Halo. I think I just trade into this to get rid of the Divine Shield. Jeez. What is this hand? Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got to get rid of the Divine Shield.
I smell gold in them there waters. Keep on panning.
They've got 10 damage on board, that's quite scary. If I go Outfitter into Sparkbot, that gets 2 2/2s on the board. Doesn't really do anything.
Come in here.
This is quite scary. Ugh. I might not even be able to play the weapon this turn.
Starting the operation. Keep on panning.
I've got to go. Yeah, I've got to play the weapon. I'm pretty sure. Like I can get rid of 5 health doing that. 5 damage doing that. What's the likelihood they have any damage from hand? I don't think this deck runs acupuncture or anything like that.
For justice.
Next turn's always Cherim. But if they have the Chill and Vol'jin, the game's over. uh,
Thousand Needles, are you ready to rock?
okay, ETC. Do I think that's another shadow one?
For justice.
The toy store belongs to the Titans. Does this hurt?
If it's Deafen, I just lose anyway. If it's Shadow Word Ruin, it gets rid of the whole board.
Witness true arcane magic.
Why play down the Oracle?
The victory is yours.
That was a very scary game. If I had the plushie, I probably could have saved using that, but yeah, Defen's pretty busted. The only thing it's not strong against is Ziliax. Okay, Demon Hunter, so it's going to be an aggressive style. I think I just keep one audio medic just in case.
With honor.
Is it worthwhile keeping a Muscletron? Possibly, because then I could buff up an audio medic. I might just keep this whole hand. I know it doesn't mean that I get the weapon, but it's more than likely it's probably more useful just to have the tempo that's on the board. Because if they play down Sock Puppet, I'm just going to trade with the audio medic. Fine, I can just trade this. Or I could just go this. Do I want to take 3? I don't really want to take the 3 damage to face as well, so I'll just trade. Next turn I'd probably play down the Muscletron, just straight. Have you ever had a control Demon Hunter in history? There was the combo one, that's probably the closest that you would have had to a control. Or there was big, I think there was Big Demon Hunter at 1.2. So they just took a turn to chill basically. Do I just take a turn to chill? I think so.
The light dim.
Reduce down the damage. Yeah, but Demon Hunter's like, its identity is probably, it is an aggressive deck just through its identity of being able to draw cards quickly and then mana cheat, but that should make it more, like, it should make it combo based as well, so it's a bit of a weird situation. Okay, so if I buff this, if I buff that, I can give this a 3/4, it means it clears the Oracle. They probably have the Hot Coals plus Acupuncture in their hand. I think I just go for that play. And next turn's, MacArthur. But that Demon Hunter deck was strong for a long time. I'm pretty sure it lasted 2 years. Like, it lasted an entire rotation and that big nerf to it. Because you could use the Skullman's Academy ones, helped it too. Okay, let's draw some cards. No weaponed. Interesting. Okay, so this turn I think Muscletron into Razor Scale.
How enigmatic.
Because it means that they would have to use all of their acupuncture turn onto it. Just going face. And then rush. Okay, so that should weaken them quite a bit because I know that the deck uses a lot of one-cost stuff. And I'm hoping that I can get the plushie off. Yeah, Inquisitor was busted. Oh, there was also that, the one that was with, Kel'Thuzad? Was that... It used to change it so every third spell you did cost 0. And you used it with the hero, you used it with that 8 damage spell.
You're gonna love the way you look.
Truly does. But there's always a busted deck. It just makes you think of Galakron. that would only been busted for a little while. Compared to the stuff that was around here. Like, I think even when Galakron Shaman was around before its nerfs, it still would have been weaker than that Demon Hunter deck. Demon Hunter was so busted when it came out. Did you play when Demon Hunter came out? Day 0 nerfs. I don't even know what they were thinking.
Uther versus Malagos.
Like, that was beyond ridiculous what they were doing.
Power is infinite.
I will fight with honor.
Because it was... You just had the, You had the Galakron... You had the Galakron release just before that, but then you released Demon Hunter and you have, like, 5 cards that got nerfed the first day. Elemental Mage. Yeah, at least they look. But Death Knight's a completely different class to Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter has a lot of draw, Death Knight doesn't. Death Knight is a lot funner though, like Death Knight's so much fun, that class. I think it's always Instrument Tech here. They've used this for some reason. If they have the spell again, it means I can just take an extra turn off. I can choose this, Outfitter, and probably Panna. I'd been playing since beta, and I stopped playing for about a year. When was it? It was... So I stopped playing in... I played United Stormwind. I stopped playing after the Castle and Nathrius expansion. So it was just before Death Knight was released. So like, you'll notice whenever I play with Death Knight it has like so little wins. Because I've only started, like, I legit never played it.
For justice.
Okay, I think I just play down the 5-4 here. Or I can... Actually, I might go for the buff. Yeah, let's go for the buff. I can get the Tiger plushie out relatively soon as well, so I can establish the board. If they play down the 5-cost dude, it means I can use this as well. Fine. So they have to do double trade. So I go... I use this, I hit into the 4-4, and then I hit the mini into the 4-2. and then hit that. Next turn I can play down Ziliax with the 8-8, or I can play down the Muscleatron. Good, they don't have the board. If they had the guy that just goes across the whole board, it would have been a bit of a problem in that situation, but obviously now it's not too much of an issue. Another Painter's Virtue is quite good. But if I just play down Ziliax, do I just win? Goes up to 16-16. I think I just win if I play down Ziliax. They can deal 8.
Let me think.
Yeah, I think it's just wins doing that. Then I just send 2 to face because there's nothing else I can do with it. So they have to deal with the 8-8s, otherwise I just lose. If not, I can just win anyway. Fun. It's fun. It's fun. They're using up all their mana. All their cards in their hand too. So it's just a hope for the best situation by the looks of it. What? Oh, okay, gotcha. I was about to say, I'm like, I don't know about that sort of play, trying to just leave this guy active. Do I just play down Bob and freeze the board? Or do I just... I could go for 2 different ways, like I could just win by having the board, or I could just win by using Bob. Oh, but that's the spell, so that will become... If I use Bob, it means I don't win, so I'm not going to use Bob here. Because that's the Forge spell, so I'll do 2 3/3s into my guy. Okay, so play down the Forge, play down the Cult, play down the Rush, get into the 2-3, go face. So that's probably the best card they could have drawn in that situation, but I really don't think they have much opportunity to deal with this board. Because they can deal 5. Yeah, it's definitely disgusting when you use that, use it with the other cards that are there. The fact that the spell damage combos onto it's a bit of an issue. If it didn't double up with the spell damage, it wouldn't be as much of a problem.
I must retreat.
Uther versus Scarlet!
Let the blight begin.
I will fight with honor.
Oops. I missed the mulligan. Oh well, I've got the weapon in my hand, it doesn't matter too much. Spare mana, yeah. Spare mana 6 damage, that's very true. All good. always the gold panner here.
Keep on panning.
Gives me a choice of what I'm going to do next. I probably end up playing the drone deconstructor plus hero power.
Got my hounds.
Instrument tech. Lay down the drone deconstructor, see what I got. Poisonous. Instrument tech gets me the weapon, I then don't need to reveal that I have the other weapon in my hand. Trying to trade it into the 1-1. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's 1-2. That's alright. Okay, doing the other trade. It's always pain is virtue. What do I want to get rid of though? Or are we going to this one? Yep, go on to this one. Deals. It means I take less damage overall. I'm not too worried about these guys at the moment. I can trade into that later once I get a board.
You have earned
Oh, yeah.
an eternity of torment.
Okay. Go up to 7 cards in my hand. Liax. I'm gonna trade into here. I want to try and get the board a little bit, so I might use one of my tiger plushies. What the hell, yeah. I might just play the poisonous one down to straight onto board because it means that I can use the Bane of Music if I need to. And I'm trying to build up to that as well. Runes of Darkness. Is it the... Looks like they didn't get the freeze one. If they did, they would have just jammed it straight away. I might be going Ziliax next turn, because turn 6, a lot of the time, the Death Knight doesn't have a way to deal with it.
What's your dream destination?
It's fine. Probably just gonna jam the Ziliax. It establishes tempo using that, but plus the Death Knight there, turn 6 plays usually Airlock Breach. And with this stuff that's on board, they can deal 6 at the moment using this stuff that's here. Why'd they use the coin? Oh, to use the staff, that's fine. Okay, so they take an extra bunch of damage that's there, so they can deal 6 damage. If I just take out this, it means they need to use one of these to go into my Ziliax, if they are planning on doing it. I can just do a trade. It's not very favourable here. If I do that, it means that they can take out at least one of my Ziliaxes. That's a location they got through that. If I try, it doesn't really matter too much if I trade or not, because they can just use the hero power to be able to take out one of the Ziliaxes anyway, so I'll just go face. Next turn's probably Painter's Virtue, but we'll just wait and see what they end up drawing into. Okay, they're getting another weapon. They don't have the Airlock Breach online now, if they do that, because they don't have the coin in their hands. That means they can't use it this turn. They're probably looking for the one that freezes the board. So if they do that, they can freeze all my minions, because they can use two of those minions to trade and then play it down. But it means they're not really establishing very much, and I can just get more of a board, and they're not really doing too much for the future turns either.
Talk, little Death Knight.
Because this still becomes a 12-12, and that's still they still have 12 attack. Those two that are going in. I think they're just going to freeze the board. Surely that's what they're doing. Okay, so I just play down the Painter's Virtue. I don't really want them to be able to get my guy, so I'm just gonna go face. Like, it doesn't seem like they've got anything they can really do. Mind Control Tech could be a lose condition, so I don't really want to play it down, so I'm just gonna pass. Because if that's the only play they can do, it's not like they're going to be able to do anything different on turn 7. They're probably hoping for the mind control tech to be able to take control of one of these guys. Which still actually wouldn't have mattered too much. Okay. So, playing against a rogue.
Versus Edwin.
The scourge will meet
It's always keep the outfitter, but the gold panner I think I get rid of because they can use a backstab on it anyway. I'm trying to get the Cult Nephite or the Great Razor Scale. So 2, 3. Okay, so it's more than likely outfitted this turn. I could use the Forge if I wanted to, because it means that they would have to go for the Oracle. It means they could use the Coin Oracle backstab on that, if I do it that way. Probably will just use it. Probably safer doing that. Or I could use the Instrument Tech. I think I'll do the buff, and then I'll go for the Razor Scale. It means that they can't do any drawing of their cards. Slows them down a lot. Or I could... We'll see what they end up doing, because I might just go for the Instrument Tech and then do this on turn 5. They've got the Oracle, they've got the Backstab. If I play this down, it means they can't really do too much. Because there's no... They could use the Tarslick onto this. I think I'm just going to play it down, just jam it, it might slow them down. They can't use Shadow Step, so it'll slow down that fact. I know it might be an interesting way to do this, because I'm not grabbing the weapon when I need to, but it probably is the better way. It means that they're forced into not being able to do stuff. I'm going to draw the weapon. Go for the buff. Try to heal. They might end up taking it out next time with using using a dagger or something like that, but it means they won't be able to use the Oracle next turn to do shuffling and cycling through cards. Fine. It's fine. So they'll be up to 16, so it's more than likely they're going to be able to get the Giant's turn off next turn. Audiomatic.
for justice.
Just gonna hit with the weapon just to give myself a little bit more buffs. Problem is that I might be sitting on a difficult situation if they do get the Giants out. Because I'll be able to take out my 2-3 and then I can only do the... Then I can only turn into a 5-9. 6-9. Mage, it's fine. Don't know why they're playing that down just straight. Oh, so they can use the backstab, I guess. Now they can use Dubious Purchase. Shadow Step. They might not have the cards in their hand to be able to do the play, which means the Giants are a lot weaker doing it like that. I think they're hoping to be able to get it because they must be hoping to get some Asteroids to be able to get their Giants online. fine. Breakdance, okay. So drone deconstruct is always the play here. Just play it down and see what I get. Lifesteal, that's average. Just hit into the 1/1. I don't want any spell damage to be dealing with my board. I think it's always play down the Forge guy. 6/6. Do I want to go wide? Or do I want to Forge this some more? I think I'm going to go wide. It forces them into having to have the... it forces them into having to have the Giants this turn. They probably do, but they've already used one breakdance, so it means they'll only be able to clear one of these guys using that strategy. They have Dubious Purchase still active as well. They haven't used any preps. Okay, they got the Mauler. Laying down the other Mauler more than likely, so they're getting the Astrobot. They're getting the Asteroids out. So up to 11 in their deck. Doing a fan, they're hoping for Asteroids. Doing a trade, laying down a Giant. Okay. Got a Ziliax. I can deal with that Giant quite easily. $11. I've got 11 on board at the moment.
For justice.
Let's get rid of one of those. I'll buff that one up. Should I get the lifesteal? No. I want to get rid of this Giant. It means they can't reshuffle it using like Breakdance or anything like that as well. I'm just going to go face with this last bit. Do I want the lifesteal? I think playing down the 6/6 also does a lot for me. I'm just playing it down straight because it means that I can deal with the Asteroids, but it means that if they Dubious Purchase, they've still got some more targets to go for rather than just buffing the one minion.
Witness true arcane.
Okay, so they're more than likely going to get a bunch of Asteroids doing it like this. Okay, so one goes into the 3/4. Okay. They don't have any... They didn't get any more Asteroids, which is quite bad for them. Prep. Parslick. So that deals 8. That still doesn't deal enough.
It's not meant to be.
Okay. Alright, what's the next match into? Next match is into a priest. I don't think I've played against this person today. Usually Zamari priest is quite common. Zarimi priest, sorry. Yeah, this hand isn't that great against more aggressive builds, so I'm hoping that it's not a pain priest. If it is, I've still got some stuff that I can do against it, I guess. It's pain priest. Play down, just do hero power, see what they end up doing. Okay.
One dose solves any problem.
So they're going up to a 4/5. This becomes a 3/3 doing it like that. Or I could go for the buff. Comes a 4-5. I think I'm gonna go for this.
Love the way you look.
Trade into there. It means I've still got some board here, and I don't think they will use hot coals. If they use hot coals, it means that they're not dealing much more damage like that, so it means I can get my weapon online. Obviously it means that I'm not getting as much value as I'd like to, but it means that I'm getting some sort of board control. I think it's probably going to be playing Tiger's plushie down depending on what they end up getting on their board. I think they'll probably end up playing down the 3-3. If they do, I probably do have to play down the plushie and then go for a bit of a safer play.
Healing. I have healing. Muzzle their magic.
Okay. I'm obviously going to take out that one. If I use the plushie, it means that I can have an extra minion down onto the board and I can buff it the following turn with my Painter's Virtue. I think I do that.
To battle.
It's always that. They get the cold. Means they've still got a 4-5 and I've got a 3-2 that's getting lifesteal, so they have to trade into it, otherwise they're not going to be getting a very good benefit from it. Next turn I can probably use the Painter's Virtue plus the Tiger plushie, or if I can, I'll try and hold it for an extra turn to be able to use. It's fine. I think I just hold for a turn and just use the weapon. And then I can use the Tyrum to buff up my Tiger's plushie.
For justice.
I could always use this. We'll just see what they end up playing. I'll see if I can do some favorable trades into that.
Who could put a price on such
Okay, Grifter.
artifacts? I could.
Okay, so they're using a strategy to try and take control of my minions. Do I really care? Not really. Miniaturize. So I can go for the buff if I wanted to. Or I could clear most of their minions doing that. So it would take out that, and that. I can go up to 9, so I could actually take out the Grifter as well doing it that play. So I'm going to use it like that.
For justice.
Hit into there. I should have used that second. That was a mistake. Lay down the plushie. Use this. Should trade everything. Never mind. It's alright. Let's trade into that. Get some more health.
Muzzle their magic.
Okay. So if they heal up, that doesn't really change too much for them.
For justice. For justice. Toy stores belongs to the Titans.
The light dims.
just go all face onto them, because if they do end up using that, they can get rid of this 4/4, but it's very awkward for them. And I've got a bunch of stuff that means that they're a lot slower down because it's increasing their cost. But hot coals? They can't use hot coals because I've turned it into a bigger thing. Looks like they're just gonna trade. It's fine. I think it's always just buff up my guys in my hand. Because I don't want them to be too big for them to be able to just take full advantage of it, and I can just use this to win the game. I don't want them to be able to take control of it and then be able to use it against me using their Grifter hero power. Grifter thing. Don't think there's really anything that I do here, because they're obviously not doing very much. I just hold. Hero power and hold. There's no benefit of using the Terram right now. So I'm dealing 11 damage on board at the moment, plus 10 that it would be able to kill them. Do I have enough damage? Yeah. Okay. Playing against a rogue, more than likely cycle rogue.
I will fight with
It can always be useful to keep the cult to be able to slow them down a ton. I don't have the weapon, which is a little bit less than ideal, but it's more than likely better just to keep it so I can slow them down a little bit. It slows them down a ton.
One dose
Okay.
solves
Miracle Salesman.
every problem.
That's different to usual. Just a dagger, that's fine. Okay, I could use the Colt here. What would they be playing if they're using the Miracle Salesman? Is this Starship Rogue? Colt doesn't really benefit me in this situation, I'm just going for the buff. Don't actually know what I'm playing against here. That was a good top deck.
Don't worry, it looks great.
Yeah, I don't actually know. I have no idea what I'm playing against.
I know all the steps.
I legit have never seen this deck before in my life.
for justice.
I think I just go for the buffs and just hope. Yeah, I got no idea either, adaptive.
Come in here.
The light dim.
Literally no idea.
Fight.
I was thinking maybe it was some sort of Starship Rogue. Maybe it's Big Rogue. I'll have a quick look on HS Guru to see if there's anything that's people have been playing, but I don't think I've seen anything like this before. Doomsayer.
For justice.
Yeah, I've got no idea.
Who could put a price on such powerful artifacts?
Yeah, it definitely did intend to stall a bit with that. Okay, they're trading with that, that's fine. I think I have some lethal. No, I don't. I'm one on. I have lethal.
You're gonna love the way you look.
Yeah, I got no idea. What was that deck? Has anyone seen that before? I'm just gonna try and search Rogue, and then I'm gonna search it with Doomsayer in it.
Uther versus Tavish. You got any loot on you?
I will fight with honor.
There's a Master Rogue. So it uses bounce around, it uses things like this. I'll put the deck code in here. This is all I could find. There's quite a few times that it's been used. So what's its idea? It uses bounce around. What's snatch and grab do? I don't know what its game plan is. So it guarantees getting the hero card using those mustache dudes. Uses bounce around. Yeah, I got no idea what that deck's doing. I don't know. It's got prep, it's got greedy partners. So basically it just wants to get the hero card. I think it's just get the hero card and hope for the best.
Accidents, they happen, you know. Job done.
Is there been a change to the Shaffer Rogue?
No one's going to believe this.
Ah, too bad. Ah, too bad.
Where's your pass?
Really?
Oh yeah, it's pretty. It hasn't changed too much lately. If there'd been a change, it'd be somewhat interesting for it, but it's been pretty similar for quite a long time. Poisonous. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go for the draw weapon.
To perfection.
What is hero power here? Or I can go for the forge. I think we'll go for the forge. Yeah, so it's very high rolly. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. Like, if you don't get the Nexus and you basically just lose. It's
For justice.
Okay. So if I kill that, it summons that. They could have the Yodeler, so I think I'm just going to take that out. Fine. Okay, so I still don't have any lifesteal, which is a bit... Oh, top deck, nice. Okay, so this audio medic can get up to a 4-5.
Let me think.
Or with lifesteal. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do, so I'm gonna have to do some trades, so I'll take out a 3-1. Play down the outfitter, play down the Colt, and play down the audio medic. Trade into the 4-4. Next turn I can use Sandcastle, or I can just use play down Zilliax, because I don't think they'll have a way to clear it. They're probably just going to send all this face. No, they're just doing a trade, that's fine by me. I can do Zilliax this turn. Or I could Sandcastle to take out this guy, which might actually be a better play. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Sandcastle play. So, get into you. Sandcastle. Get into you. Off this. Get into you. Go face with 11. Means I can Sandcastle in a future turn to be able to use Leroy as well. Well, since they're playing the aggressive deck, it's not great. It's not a great situation. They're using their weapon to trade. Fine. I think I just play down Zilliax and I use the 1-1. That means that they don't have any way to deal with it. Because if they weren't able to deal with the stuff before, they won't be able to deal with this. Like, I could have gone for the Forge, but I don't think that really did anything different. Not really. I basically just want to have a minion sitting on board so then I can use these. I use this as well. Okay. Do they have lethal? Oh, come on. Oh, did it matter though? Did I have done anything different? No, I couldn't have done anything different. Exact lethal. Very true. Probably the only thing I could have done differently was use my weapon swings a little bit differently. True. Mulligan everything here because I want to be trying to get my offs. This is going to be quite useful. I'll use it on one of their key turns to be able to get their buffs. To get their ramp. fine. So their cactus construct, it's more than likely hydration station. I don't think the young guy usually runs this. Don't really have a good way to deal with these.
Accidents, they happen, you know?
The seeds are sown.
Open summons. Okay, so he's got the defense crystal now, so I need to... Playing the 1-2 doesn't help here. If I go for the Forge, this goes to a 3-4. This is a 3-5. Or 3. Then on this guy. I'm gonna take the death. It's definitely a strong start from this opponent. I keep the. I think I go for the gold pen here.
I smell gold in them there waters. Keep on
Because I want to be trying to draw through as many cards as I can to be able to get the dude. Okay, so I go Cult into Festival Security, clears both of those. I can go face. It's just on turn 7. Do they run Innovate? I think so. Maybe I'll just go for the Druid Deconstruction and see what I get. Elusive, let's play it down. And then Festival Security and go face. It means I draw an extra card. They could end up using it this turn, that I'm a little bit worried about. They don't. They probably will have the Hydration Station relatively soon.
Stop and smell the flowers.
That's guaranteed Ziliax.
Toys are much more fun.
I'd end up getting at this. Ooh. 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 First time. Okay. So I'm gonna have to bluff it. I think I'm gonna go you. Let's put it onto this. And I'll keep it so I have the location alive.
Keep on panning.
Okay, so that was guaranteed Ziliax they would have gotten from that, so that's easily obviously trades into my 5-2. I would love to have a Bob right now, but I don't think it's happening. They've got to play down the Ziliax. There's no... Unless they've already drawn it. They already have the Ziliax in their hand. So, Sparkbot deals an extra. It doesn't deal too much extra at the moment since I don't have too big a buffs for it.
I may be old, but I'm not slow.
I'll probably get the Starship back this turn, I'd say.
Engaging TC-1.
See Tech my 4-2. It's got Rush, so they can trade, that's fine. Doesn't really deal enough at the moment. I need to get some defense out for it, so I'm gonna go for weapon swing. What's the Righteous Protector? Then I'll use a medic to trade into this. It means that if they use Iliacs, I do have a way to defend against it. Because I'll have to do a trade into it. Okay.
For justice.
Step to this. Feel that healing beat. Step to this.
You're gonna love the way you look.
Oh, it's so busted. Jeez. Yeah, well, if I'd traded better, it would have been even better lethal. Because I could have kept the 4-5 alive and traded the rush minion. Oh, I could have kept something alive. Yeah. But it was lethal enough.
Uther versus Illyria.
Tremble before the might of the
Okay.
elves.
I will fight with
So,
honor.
Gold Panda, Muscletron. It definitely is its own win condition. Okay, so I've got Righteous Protector, Gold Panda, Plushie, and Muscletron. We'll just see what they are playing. It looks like they're not playing the 100% aggressive deck. I don't really want a coin. You want to play this down? Not really. It's worth a lot more value.
No one's going to believe this.
1-4. I think I just go for the buff here, and then I'm going to have to use my weapon to swing into that twice.
Twice as hard. You go twice as
If they get the Yordle, that's a bit of a problem. Is this play or summon? Summon. I don't want them to have the Yordler, so I think I've got to trade into the 1-2.
for justice.
And then next turn I use the Plushie. So I trade into this and use the Plushie to deal with that. Okay. So
Problem.
it's a lot of damage.
For justice.
I got you. Is it better? It might be better taking out the 5-4 in this situation, because what's the likelihood they have something bigger than a 3-4? Yep, I'm gonna take out the 5-4 because I think it's better value doing it that way. So they're hoping that that deals damage into their exact for them, that's fine. I can go for 2 plushies. Or I can get a taunt and a plushie. That will need to go.
I wonder.
I definitely need to get a plushie out this turn, so I think I go here. I use the Forge Minion to make this plushie even bigger, and then I get the Divine Shield out.
Will I do? But we fight.
That's incorrect placement, but whatever. I should be relatively safe here.
Masterful. I
Okay.
concede.
Lifesteal's always strong. Because it's strong because of the fact that it helps decks that aren't aggressive and it lets them survive longer. Like the plushie is so powerful because of the fact that you can use it with buffs and you can get all the lifesteal back of the damage that you're taking. The fact the weapon has lifesteal is just beyond ridiculous, but okay, so I think I'm gonna keep the plushie this time. I'm actually thinking about keeping the Righteous Protector as well. I will get rid of the Righteous Protector, because it's probably more important to get some sort of buff out. Audio Medic's quite good here as well. Gets me a 2-mana lifesteal. Ziliax is fine. Because I've been playing against a lot of aggressive hunters lately, and this is another one. Okay, so they're going to get a 3-1 into the board. Just hero power and see if it if it survives. If it survives, I get to trade a 3-1 into it. That's alright. Looks like it's surviving. And then I can use the rush minion the following turn if I wanted to.
To battle.
I think when I played this one down, it's more likely to survive, but the more important thing is it means they can't use some sort of spell on me. Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. It definitely gives those sorts of vibes. So play down the Virtue. Now the plushie's obviously going to be the play next turn, but I just need to decide what my best way to go about this is. If I kill that, that dies, so I don't need to worry about trading into that. So I think it's go hit into the 2-1, this dies, the Yordle doesn't come out with something. And then I just trade into this. I take 7 damage doing that though. And then next turn I can use the plushie to trade into the 3-4, and I can trade into the 3-1 as well with my weapon. Patchwork. Okay, so they're going to use the charge one. Or they're using the taunt one first. That's fine. So how do I go about that? Lay down the plushie. Use the plushie to swing. Go face. Trade my 2-2 into the 3-1. Next turn I get this. So they do have the charge minions still as well, so they have the Huffer. I don't think that matters too much for me. They could play down that thing that gives the damage, the location that gives the damage based on the amount of beasts on field. They're hoping for Winfrey. Okay. It's interesting. They're just going face. I don't think that's the right play. Okay, so use that. And as a Virtue. Let on that. Let on that. 2-2 goes into heal. Oh, it should have been the 6-7 going to there. That's fine. Whatever. I get back enough life for them to concede. There's a lot of aggro hunters at the moment. I've been used to being playing against the Discover hunters, but they've been playing quite a few aggros. The meta that I never want to go back to is the one with Druid. You know how it had Knights of the Frozen Throne Druid, where they had Ultimate Infestation, they had Spreading Plague on with 5, they had Innovate unnerfed. It was busted.
I will fight with honor.
Okay, come on, Winfrey. Win Fury, let's go. How many options does it have anyway? It has Taunt, Lifesteal, Rush, Divine Shield, Poisonous, Wind Fury.
Job's done.
Is it 6? Probably Weapon Rogue. 7. Oh, Elusive, yep. Okay, if this is Weapon Rogue, I want to be able to get the plushie to be able to use the buff. So I'm going to use the Forge here, and then go face. It could have been useful using Gold Panda, but I feel like they're just going to take it out. I'm going to use the buff, and it also buffs my Spark Bot to be able to put into one of the minions. I can also use the plushie. Unless this is Nexus, this might be Shafar Rogue.
Come in here.
You're dead on 7 guaranteed. Not if I have Lifesteal. Or Taunts. It's Weapon Rogue. Okay. Alright. It's a race. Okay, so I can use the plushie here to be able to buff up. Get my lifesteal, so they have to do some sort of trade, or they'll have to take it out. I get back some health and I can go face. It's fine. Fine. They're dealing 10 damage doing that. They have to deal 7 more damage coming from their hand, so it's quite likely they have it. Play this. See what I got? Rush again. Okay, I need to play this down, I'm just gonna play it down flat. Draw a card. Let's give this a buff, just a small buff. Don't know if it's really going to matter, but we'll see. That's useful. So they have to deal 7 damage. What's the likelihood they can get that? Because I've used a Deafen now, so I can get this out relatively safe. Like, they need to get another Deafen out. They got a coin. Sharp shipments, they got to 12. So that means I have 5, so if they have a Deafen, they can win next turn.
You're gonna love the way you look. The light dims.
So they need to have a Deafen basically to win. They've got 2 cards left in their hand. If they have it, they have it. If they don't... If they don't, they don't. Oh, they obviously can use spells too.
Wanna combo? Want a combo meal? Want a combo meal?
Why are they wasting time doing this?
I appreciate it. What's sharper? Your wits or your blade?
Just emoting. Oh. Maybe he was trying to get you with C-Sword. I guess so. He could be trying to make me concede, but I think it's maybe trying to tilt me. It's strange that people do that. Let's take. It was so the weapon rogue was emoting, so they had lethal on board, but they were just emoting.
You could not stop me then. You will
Okay,
not
playing against dirt.
stop me
That's
now.
not.
I will fight with honor.
I'll keep the festival security because I might need to establish a board. That's on 1. That's 2. 3. Could go for the Forge instead. It might actually be better here. Because it just get traded into anyway, it'd just get me 1 extra card. It'd just trade 1 basically into it anyway.
You could use a
Seamstress as
swing.
well. Okay, so this turn's going to be playing down the Painter's Virtue. And I can decide from there. Decide from it after that.
Justice.
Probably going to be Muscleitron next turn.
One dose solves
They're not really doing too much as well, which is good for me. Like, I'm happy for them just to do that. That's quite a good draw. Oops. That was incorrect. I should have used the weapon swing first. So this next turn is probably going to be this into this.
Great harvest, eh, Paul?
Yes, Ma.
Okay.
I smell gold in them there waters.
Oh, it's so it's 11 a.m. So it's in the morning at the moment.
I wonder.
Yeah, that's all good. Glad you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time.
For
Okay, so I'm gonna try to hit the 2-8, and then I can take it out using it like that. And then I can go face. Next turn Ziliax. Because I'm hoping they do trading into 2 of the things, so I can use, so they can't use the mind control tech on me. They could use airlock breach this turn as well. If they do I really care? Not really.
You have earned an
Oh, yeah.
eternity of torment.
Okay. This is a 5/6 die. Yes. That's fine. This turn I can play Ziliax. They've lost one of their Fistful of Corpses, so I can just play it down pretty much for free and then go face. Don't know what they're hoping for the freeze weapon. If they get the freeze weapon, they can use the. Yeah. With the freeze weapon, they can use it to take out that. I think I need to use the lifesteal this turn because they're going to try and... I've got to use the lifesteal this turn. If they take control of... They can deal lethal damage doing it like that. So, let's go with Plushie. Let's use Drone Deconstructor. And we'll play down the Taunt. So I'm going to take back 8 health. Just leave that on board. So they could use Mind Control Tech this turn. They could get back the 8, but it means that these can deal lethal. If they use Mind Control Tech on these anyway, it means that they deal lethal as well. The only thing I can think of they could do is use... If they do that AoE, can they kill this board? No. Off to freeze. Okay. I don't have a way to deal lethal.
I wonder.
I want to keep the Bob just in case, so I think I'm just going to use the Audio Medic to trade into the 4-5. And just pass. If they get grifted, they just win. Grifted plus the take control of minion, obviously. Double Ziliax doesn't save them. Don't really know what saves them in this particular position. Just the Grifter I can think of. Elop Reach doesn't save them.
The runes decide your fate. Unholy, symbol of death.
I can just use my plushies to take that out.
All life must end.
The 64 damage Ziliax. 64 attack Ziliax. What a joke.
Uther versus Morgul! I will fight with honor.
Okay, Shaman. So it's going to be Swarm Shaman. Rush is very important against Swarm. Here's the buff. I think I'll go that way. I'll get rid of that buff just because I feel like I'm probably going to be playing Audio Medic on 2. Got Painter's Virtue as well, which is a good draw. It's obviously not the preferred way, but because it's more than likely against a Swarm Shaman, getting that extra buff is very important. Okay, it's not. It's Asteroid, I think. I think I'm just going to go for the buff then. Next turn's probably going to be playing down the Muscletron.
Muzzle their magic.
I could use this to clear the board. Yep, let's go for the clear. Buff doesn't really help because I'm going to be playing Painter's Virtue next turn anyway. And I can do turn 5 Muscletron into Audio Medic.
None can
It's fine.
comprehend the expanse of my power.
Painter's Virtue, get into the 3-2. Next turn's probably going to be Muscletron into Audio Medic, or Muscletron into Colt. Fine. It's fine. into the 2-2. Is it better just to get the outfitter? More than likely. Go for the big buffs because then I can do whatever I want to on the following turns. Okay, they got an asteroid. It's fine. So it buffs up a few of their minions, but they're not able to deal with this board very efficiently anyway. Okay, draw a weapon. Should have done that after I swung with the weapon.
For justice.
Go for ace. Let's buff up the Colt, and then I'll play down the rush minion. Do the trade. I'll take out the 3-3, because I'm going to be able to combo down with Leroy relatively soon anyway. Okay, it's India's. So I have 17, 18, 22 of lethal. Alright, 5, 14, 22, 34. Yep. Okay, what are we up? What are we up against next? Shaman. This was Swarm Shaman last time I played against him.
From strife comes opportunity.
I will fight with honor.
Okay, so I want to keep Audio Medic. Do I want to keep the Sandcastle? Probably. Drone Deconstructor turn 1. Audio Medic turn 2. Okay, got another Righteous Protector, so I've got a lot of low cost minions. 5 steel's fine. Party Animal. Can't do an effective trade right now. Got another Drone Deconstructor, maybe I go for that play. I think that's what I do. Winfrey's great. I think I play down the Righteous Protector here, and I trade into the 1-1. It means they have to do a trade.
Muzzle their magic.
It's fine. Play down the Divine Shield again. It means that I'm establishing somewhat of a board to be able to deal with them, and they have to do another trade. Since they have the deck that wants to swarm, I'm dealing quite well with this, and then turn 5 I can do the Sandcastle into them. I might actually hold that an extra turn because I could use that for the Winfrey. They could trade. They can trade into one of my other dudes. Okay. Killing a 2-1. I might go for the double plushie play. I could go for plushie and then it's a single trade. Or I could just use Sandcastle. Maybe I just use Sandcastle here. So using the Sandcastle that way means that I'd be able to trade quite effectively into them. It also means that I can use my Winfrey on them relatively soon as well. So they have 4. They have 4 mana available this turn. They'll go up to 6 next turn. So I need to make sure their board's clear. They're gonna go for a full trade. So it means that I can't do the win free play onto them using those. Flushy's definitely the play here. I just play down the lifesteal one. Means they might not be expecting that sort of play that's from it. Because I can go for the win free play if I wanted to onto it. It's fine. I'm gonna trade, which is a good idea.
Accidents, they happen, you know?
I smell gold in them there waters.
I'll just hold this just for this turn. See what I draw into. So I've got a decent board to be able to deal with them. They will probably have to use a lightning storm to be able to deal with this as well. So it means they're not really doing too much this turn.
What is your wisdom?
I think I'm probably just going to be taking the turn to chill. I don't really have too much to be able to do.
Reporting for duty.
I'll get out the 8/8 this turn.
Mysterious orb. What is your wisdom?
If they get out the 8/8s, I can use Bob the Bartender to freeze it. Okay, they're playing down Ziliax and the Cold. What do I get? Force each enemy minion to attack. So those are 2 rush minions. So if I go for the Ziliax, so if I freeze, I'll take 3. Oh, it'll put it up to 12 health. Then there's an 8/8 that can come out and take out one of my minions on the board. Do I have enough damage doing that? Because then I could possibly draw into one of my other buffs in my deck to be able to take out the rest of their health. So I'll be able to deal. If they take out this, which is probably the expected play, I'd have. It's a 7. A 6 comes from this, and then an extra 3. So that's 9. They're on 5. So I just need a buff that comes from this turn. So I'm going to use the Bob the Bartender. I'll freeze their board. They have to use one of their 8/8s to be able to deal with it. And then I play down my win free and go face. It means that they have to respond to this. If they don't, I more than likely have lethal. So I feel like they're going to trade. So I don't think they can trade effectively into this because they're going to take an extra 3. Taunt, I don't think helps them. That does though. Okay, so they're taking an extra 3 doing that. I got the Painter's Virtue. Do I want to use it? So I can take out that. Take out those. That becomes a 24 though. I can't let that happen. Okay. If I lifesteal, I can take out that. I can take out that. I can take out that. I don't think I have enough to, do I have enough to take out that? Okay, so lifesteal weapon, trade there. Go face. That. Hit 3. 5, 2, 1.
You're quite the schemer. It takes one to see it.
Well played. So was my best play doing the bold freeze? I feel like it was. Like if they only had one card left in their hand. Getting the taunt minion helped a lot for them too.
Uther versus Rastakhan.
But yeah.
Stand before King Rastakhan.
I don't think it was really
I will
relevant.
Fight with honor.
Okay, go for the full mulligan. I'm trying to get my weapon relatively early because obviously that's a better play than what I was trying to do, which was swarm the board. Not ideal doing that. I think I'll just play down the Righteous Protector this turn because they could have the 1/1s that come out. And then it means that I'm a lot bit more effective using my gold panel. Okay, they're going for the coin party animal, so they're definitely playing the Swarm Shaman. I'll just play down Gold Panner and then hit it into them. It means they can't really do anything, they don't usually run rush minions. And get an extra turn as well. I think I'm going to have to just play this down flat.
Toys are much more fun to raise.
I got a lot of buffs doing that, so I am probably going to have to do this flat and then I'll have to go for these two. Following turn. Okay, so they did a trade into my 2/1, that's fine. Yeah, buffing that without establishing board isn't worthwhile, so I'm just gonna go for ace here. They have to do a trade anyway, I don't really mind what trade they do, so dealing extra damage is more important. Next turn's probably just gonna be double Audiomatic, and Sandcastle the following turn. Because I should be able to trade effective enough into them that they can't deal with my whole board. So I can get the Sandcastle value. Golden's armor, it's fine. Going face. Is it more worthwhile giving the buff and then using this? Because then I can go for 2 lifesteal turns. That might be the better play, so I'm going to do the forge, play down this one, hit into this, hit into this. I pass over to them, so the next turn I can get a 5/6 with rush, and I can also have my 2/4 that goes bigger, and then my Sandcastle plays even better. So they can trade completely into this board as well if they wanted to, so I'm not expecting any of these minions to be lasting this turn. Fine. Okay. So they got the win free. I need to make sure that goes, because if they have the... If they get the, if they get the big bloodlust, it means they can just deal a lot with that.
Feel that healing beat. Step to this.
It also means they need to do some sort of this. I think they need to trade these two into there and then trade that into there if they're going to go for trades. Leaves them relatively ineffective. Okay, so doing the pop-up book, Observer Mysteries. Oh. So what's the likelihood that's a freezing trap? About 1 in 3. That wasn't a freezing trap. 15. 24. That's fine. Okay, I don't have any more rush minions, which are a little bit problematic. I think that he's counting lethal right now. I think I need to go just for tiger plushies. Clear those two. They're just trading. It's fine. I think 4 cost minions. That's quite a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think that's 10. Okay, plushie. I'll have to put down the Cult Neophyte because then they can't use the gift this turn. It means that I'm relatively safe in terms of that. So they'll deal 10. 10 plus 12. 20, actually, they have lethal if they had a. Okay. I can trade into that. So they've got the Murlocs, that means they can deal the 8 damage to it. It's fine. They're board locking themselves doing that. So if I freeze the board, that means they can't do anything and it gets an extra turn for me? Does that really do anything different for me though? Not really?
You're gonna love the way you look.
Okay, take up the 3-2. So they have to do a trade. This is going to be quite sticky and quite annoying to be dealing with. I do have a Painter's Virtue, so I'm gonna have to try and get that established on board as well. On. Okay, so they're dealing with my board. 12. I don't have any way of dealing lethal right now. Well, she's quite strong.
For justice.
Okay. Deal with that. Deal with this. So they can go 12 using that. They can't deal lethal damage right now. I have lethal next turn with this and this. Because I don't think they have a way to really deal with this. Like, they're gonna deal, obviously, with the board that's here, but I don't, like, if they have a taunt, that doesn't really change too much, because Leroy would be able, like, I'd be able to use the weapon as well. Like, yeah, if they have a taunt, it's something that could deal with this, but I don't think that they will. They could go for the second of the backstage bounces. Or they could use the heal thing, Libram heal. That would do something, I guess. Is that a taunt? Turns into taunt. Okay. Six attack. So 2. 14. It's not enough.
I wonder.
I will not forsake you. Cease your
For
quarrel
justice.
at once.
I must move quickly.
Okay, give the debuff. I've got a 6-1 doing it like that, so I'm just gonna trade here. I'll just use the trades just because it makes me a little bit safer. He can use the horn, but it will mean that it'll turn into a 3-3 or go down to 3-1. He can't just hit twice with it. If he hits one, then I'll have to trade into it as well. My Leroy's up to 8-4. So that, he does have the rush minion still in his hand, the 8-8. A Hex could do something. But he uses most of his mana doing that. Okay, so that reduces down a lot of damage. Are they just... Oops.
These things happen.
Yeah, that wasn't the right play for them. Okay, they're giving the buff to their undead. That means that it clears my 4-3. They can get the rush minions out onto the board. I thought the bartender's big enough now. So I can just go face, freeze the board. Not really any way that they can clear my bob. And then just play down both these. Draws me an extra card, but it also means that I have Leroy next turn if I need to. Leroy plus the weapon is lethal. I don't think they have a way of dealing 19. If they heal, Can I win through that? Trade. 20? Yeah. So Bob's big enough now to be able to deal with the board that they could send out. So if they send out the Murloc, they can only kill the 4/5. Means I still have 14. Probably going to use this as a hex. And Leroy's able to deal lethal. One's a 4/5.
For justice. Time's up. Let's do this.
Definitely was an interesting game. There was a lot of back and forth and things. Okay. Alright, so what's our first draw going to be? Shaman. So it's more than likely once again another Swarm Shaman. There's been a lot on ladder, so they're everywhere.
I will
Righteous
fight
Protect is
with honor.
decent, but I'll probably end up getting rid of it. Painter's Virtue is fantastic. I'll just get rid of everything except the Painter's Virtue. See what I draw into. Medic's fantastic. Second Painter's Virtue is great. Razor Scale's useful as well. So this is turn 3 play, more than likely. Okay. Outfitter, so turn 2, more than likely. It might be Medic, we'll just sweat and see what they end up playing. If they end up playing another Battle Cry, I'm gonna have to use the Medic here because I don't want them to be able to have a big board. I think it's Outfitter this turn. Let on the Outfitter, let's see what they end up getting. They might have the Turbolus here. If they have Turbolus, I'm going to have to... Oh, we'll be using Painter's Virtue, obviously, but it will change my play a little bit in terms of what I need to be able to do. Morgan's almost fine. Okay, coin into Painter's Virtue. I'm going to trade into the 3/4 with my face and then deal the 2/1, see what they end up doing from there. It obviously could be ideal going like that, but it means, like, I don't think they have any other way to do a 1/1. Like, if they send out the other Murloc Bluefin, this could be this is a worse play, but I feel like they more than likely won't have that sort of play out. 5/5's fine. Doubleus is fine. Actually, it ends up becoming a 4/3 like that, so that is definitely a bit of a problem doing it like that. Go into the 4/4. Hit into that. Play down the Gold Panna, play down the Audio Medic. I'm going to trade into the 4/3. If I trade into the 3/3, it means that they don't have a way to deal with the board very well. Like, they can't trade into this easily, but I will trade into the 4/3 because I need to make sure I keep my life total higher. Especially since I don't really have any other things to heal my health total. I was thinking that they didn't have the Turbolus as well because they didn't play that on 3. I was assuming they would play it on 3. It's fine. They're going to go for the AoE this turn, so I'm going to have to play down Razor Scale guaranteed. This is definitely a bloodlust turn that they're going to be going for. Okay, so trade. Okay, trade.
Get your own pan.
Trade. Just protect the razor scale, so it means they won't be able to do their bloodlust play they were obviously going to go for. Problem is, I'm not really sitting in a very ideal situation still because they still have a decent sized hand and they more than likely will have access to be able to deal with stuff. Okay. So I'm down to 7 health, which is not great. Floshy's alright. Problem is, even with Floshy, I don't think I survive because they more than likely have something to be able to deal with it. It's still not oh, that is exactly lethal actually. Couldn't do anything. That was the best I could do. I don't think there's any other way that I could play that. Probably the only turn where I didn't trade into that 3-3 was probably the only other play that I could have done.
Uther versus Enza.
Who's ready for a hoedown?
Okay, Drone Deconstructor, Marcelitron, and Outfitter, and I've also got a Ziliax. More than likely going to be Swarm Shaman again. I feel like I need to think of a deck that just counters Swarm Shaman because I've versed so many in a row. I think I'm at, what is that, 3 or 4 in a row? Yeah, 4 in a row so far, this is the 5th. Drone Deconstructor, definitely. Winfrey's great. Maybe I'd just go for the trade with that. I'll just hold it, just because getting the Painter's Virtue on 4 is probably more important than getting the clear on these 2/1/1s. That is a little bit problematic for me, but I guess I've just got to live with that decision for it, because if I had cleared that then he wouldn't have been able to get that favourable trade doing that. It's going to be Turbolus again. Sure, if they play Turbolus they go 3-3 and then they hit into that. Oh. Obviously coin first and see what ends up happening. 2 Mage Secrets is not really anything that can do different besides from Counterspell. No Counterspell, I don't think anything matters here. Red 3-1 to get rid of that. Both are useless for her. Okay, Ziliax. Don't have a way to deal with that at the moment.
For justice.
This gets Rush, I do. It's Taunt, it's not Rush. I think it's just play down, get the Muscletron and then play down the Taunt minion.
The light dims, but we fight.
Okay. Okay. So they might end up going face here. So 3-3 goes into there, that goes into there. If Ziliax just goes face, it should mean that I just have the win. I'll just count it up. Okay, so 2, so that's 8. They go down to 18. So that goes into 5. That goes into 7. Yeah, that's easy lethal.
For justice.
Easy lethal.
Uther versus
Okay,
Paladin.
playing against a rogue. More than likely cycle rogue. Just keep Grime Street outfit and nothing else I keep. Okay, it's probably gonna be Outfitter into Gold Panel. Just wait and see what I draw into in the following turns. Okay. Could always just draw a card, like, is drawing a card might actually be better here. I think it probably is, because I still don't have the weapon. An Ethereal Oracle would be problematic either way, but it's on turn 2, it means I possibly could draw an extra card. I just play another quick pick. Getting into my 1-2, which is fine. Means I'm going to get an extra drawing of a card, which is really good. Instrument Tech is fantastic for this, so I'm going to play it down. Get my weapon next turn, guaranteed. I've got quite a big hand as well. Okay, so they're cycling through cards. Still don't know which type of rogue this is just yet. It probably is Cycle Rogue. Coin.
Witness.
Oracle.
Ooh, arcane.
Stuff, that's fine.
How enigmatic.
I'll just leave that on board. I don't really want to trade in the Virtue. Oh, they're using the Shadow Step anyway. Yeah, I'll just deal the damage to the face, because face damage always sticks against this rogue deck.
For justice.
Problem is I don't have any charge in my hand, so I don't have Lever or anything like that. I just need to hope for sticky stuff. Next turn's probably this, this.
Ooh, arcane magic.
If they keep the Oracle on the board, it's going to be Tiger Plushie, obviously.
How enigmatic.
Okay, so I'm going to trade... I could trade the 2-2. I think it's... Let's trade that, obviously. This... Do I want to get this buffed even further? They more than likely get the Giants out next turn. So I need to get this out.
Accidents. They happen, you know?
Okay. Go the Taunt, get the Lifesteal guy out. They could use Dubious Purchase, with which possibly could counter this if they hit the 4-4, but if not, it means they will have to trade into the 4-4. So it should leave me alive and be able to deal with their cycle turn. This is probably gonna be my last game. I've gotta get going. I've been playing for a few hours, and obviously I'm enjoy definitely everyone being a part of the stream, but yeah, I'll probably have to go after this game. And I'll be glad not to be playing against Swarm Shaman for the 50th time today. Okay, probably Tarslick. Yep, Tarslick. Prep, Dubious Purchase. Not a fan of knives, so clears one. Still got these two alive. Backstab clears the 4. Okay, so they do have access now to their giants. Okay. Sandkeeper Tarum.
For justice.
Use Bob the Bartender, that freezes that. Also gives me 8 extra damage to deal into them. Problem is these can't clear just yet, they can only clear 1. So I'll just have to play Bob and see, and freeze the 3. Let's see what I end up getting next turn. Because the Bob can clear. Clear 1 or 2 possibly, but if they have Dubious Purchase, it obviously is a bit of a problem for that too. They're freezing it, it's fine. Okay. So I can clear 1 using the Tigress plushie. If I have a buff, it means I can clear 1 a lot more straight. So I can go for 8. Which is the better way to clear, because I can go for the buff, I can clear it like that. This can clear the whole board the following turn if I need to.
Let me think.
If I do the bigger buff though. I can do a small buff and knock that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the Muscletron like this, just as a single buff, and then use the plushie onto it, and then take out this 8/8, because if they did a trade, they could get it back for free. I don't think that it was likely, but they could for some reason. Okay, so they got 4 cards left in their hand. They obviously didn't have a Dubious Purchase last turn because I didn't use that on Bob the Bartender. So they've used both Breakdancers. They're sitting on 21 damage on the field. They could go for Incendious this turn possibly. They're going for Incendious. They could deal a decent chunk to this, but I still do have the other Tigros plushie in my hand. I also have the Toy Keeper as well to be able to buff up this one. So I might actually have enough life just to be able to outlast them anyway. Okay, so using a Tarslick to try and clear the board a bit more efficiently, they're going to trade into that. They're hoping for... they might have the Dubious Purchase now that they've done that. No, they're just... I think they might be guaranteeing the takeout of it. But I still do have this. They have the Incendious, which is fine. I can go for... They have another Playhouse Giant as well. Okay. So if I play down the plushie, I can play down the Terram, I can then play down the other one. So play down the plushie, buff it with the Terram. Then I have to make this one smaller. And then take out the Incendious. So it gets me back the health, but it also has a taunt on the board. They only have 3 cards in their hand too. Okay. They've got to go for a trade here. I still do have the other Tigros plushie in my hand too. Dubious Purchase. Okay, so so they still do have the buffs in their hand. I have the Tigress plushie, so I can clear one using that. I still do have an Oracle in their hand too. If I go for the weapon, I can take out the whole board using the weapon.
I wonder.
Yeah, so I'll use the weapon, I'll take out the whole board using it. Also gets me a little bit of lifesteal more. So hit into the 1/1, see what they end up getting. If it draws into some of their spell damage, it's probably beneficial for me. It means they can't do the asteroid plays on me. They've used both Maulers as well. They've got 2 eruptions and 1 asteroid, so that can deal 9 damage possible with the Oracle. So I'll use this, it knocks out both of these giants and then it passes over to them. I've got the big Tigress plushie next turn I can use. I've got 3 cards left in the deck, so it's just 3 spell damage things. If they Ceaseless Expanse, I don't have a way to clear it at the moment. But I do have enough health to be able to deal with that. I think. So they've got to play down the if they play down the Oracle, which I'm pretty sure they're guaranteed to do, they've then got to draw the cards. It deals an extra 9 damage to me. They could Ceaseless Expanse to make sure they've got a board. I think that's probably what they're considering.
I have seen creation, and I will bring destruction.
Too soon.
Witness true arcane magic.
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Okay, so I don't think they have any other. I don't think they have any other clear. Blind Shield, that doesn't really mean anything for me. Because one of those cards is Fan of Knives, one of those cards is Shadow Step.
For justice.
I'm gonna have to play down the Gold Pinner, I think, this turn. To draw a card. Doesn't feel correct, though. Because I'm gonna take 15-16 from that. But I've got to play it down, because I need to get some sort of taunt.
I smell golden in their waters.
Sandcastle doesn't do anything here. So I'm gonna go face, hit with that, Shadow Step, Ceaseless Expanse. They're taking 3. The last card they have is Fan of Knives.
I have seen creation, and I will bring destruction.
I don't have any Rush, don't have any Lifesteal. Yeah.
The victory
Play.
is yours.
Alright, thank you everyone for coming along to the stream. I hope that you've enjoyed it. It's been great having everyone come along. And if you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe. I've enjoyed and I appreciate your support. If there's any suggestions or things like that you have for future streams, please let me know, and I'll probably be uploading a video tonight as well. Okay, thank you and goodbye.